Hey guys, welcome back to the Rage page. As you can tell by the title of the video, I've got a bit of an interesting story to tell you today. So, it started when me and my friends were playing Roblox, as any middle schooler without a life would do. And a friend that I met on Space Engineers asked us if we wanted to do an SCP roleplay. And one of my friends was basically addicted to SCP, and since he didn't have any of the games, like Containment Breach, we would usually play Roblox games of SCP, like Containment Breach, Roblox Edition, and Site 35 by Minitoon. So we were obviously down to play some SCP roleplays, and we were going to, but then the guy who suggested it, for some reason, was screwing up the roleplay, going against everything we had planned for it. Now, it really wasn't that big of a deal, and I know that we didn't make it out to be. It was him who did that. So, in response to us telling him to stop screwing up the roleplay, he turned off his mic and proceeded to type in party chat. Now, I don't have any evidence of this because I didn't think to screenshot it or anything at the time. I would have recorded it, but game clips don't show any of the Xbox HUD stuff, just what's going on in the actual game. And I don't have a PC to record off my Xbox, so you'll just have to trust me on this one, guys. So the first thing he said when he went in text chat is, "You will remember us as Nick." Not me, not I, us. So he was clearly trying to give us the feeling that something weird was going on and perhaps something paranormal, which he proceeded with despite the fact that none of us believed him, and we were very open about us not believing him. So he kept repeating this Nick stuff. He said the full name, which was Nick Kolakowski, and I looked up Nick Kolakowski, and I'll give you a picture of him right now. So this is the supposed Nick Kolakowski that he wanted us to find. He's a horror book author, and he's very much alive. So I don't know why he thought this would work after hearing that, but he still went with it. So the next thing he told us about was to look up the house that fell from death. I think he meant the house that feels death, but he was typing very frantically. Another reason why we had no reason to believe that a paranormal entity had taken over his Xbox. So we looked up the house that fell from death, and the first article was about this woman named Mary Saratusi or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. But the first article was about her, and apparently she had fallen through her attic floor and into the wall. So the wall was hollow, and her attic stretched out, and on the very borders was over the hollow part of the wall. So I guess the attic floorboards cracked, and she fell through and died in the wall. Now, when we found this, he started talking about our moms. He asked us if we loved our moms, and then he said Nick did, and then he said Mary Saratusi is his mom. He called her something else. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't Mary Saratusi. So he obviously had no idea we would find this, and he was just going off whatever we said. So next he said two names. I know one was Michael, I think the other was Jenny or something like that. And then he said, "Do you know the Zodiac killer?" And I said, "Yeah, I know about that." And then he told us to look up the victims, and it turns out one of the victims was actually a guy named Michael. So he had actually gotten something right in this paranormal trip that he was taking us through. We didn't find anything about the Jenny, or whatever her name was. So at this point he started making the claims that our mother was in the wall along with Nick's mother. I don't know why. Apparently Nick goes around and stuffs random Xbox Live kids' mothers into walls. So he said check your walls, and I think he was trying to get us to take a hammer to our walls so that we would never be able to play Xbox again. That was actually a kind of genius plan, but it didn't work, of course. None of us smashed open our walls to find Nick. So at this point he started saying Nick and the Zodiac killer had some sort of relation. So at this point my friends were just fed up with this kid, and two of them left. The other one muted the entire party, and I was the only one left talking to him since I was the one who introduced him to my friends in the first place. He kept on repeating the "you will remember us as Nick" line over and over again. It was so repetitive. He said the same thing over and over again. And I'm not gonna bore you with all of it, But another interesting part is where he starts talking about axe murdering us. He goes into real deep detail. He says, "You will remember us as the blood drips from your heart and the axe enters your flesh." It was some really freaky stuff. This kid was messed up in the head. I don't know why he goes around on Xbox doing this. I don't know if it's like a regular thing for him. I don't know if he's just playing Call of Duty and he loses to this really good guy and then he goes and tells him he's gonna axe murder his mom from the wall. But it was a strange encounter, and before he went in text chat, I forgot to mention this, he said he was gonna report us for bullying if we didn't leave him alone and let him do what he wanted when we were trying to do the roleplay. So at this point, we had decided, you know what, if you're gonna report us, we're gonna report you. So me and my 3 other friends reported him for bullying and violence. Now you can say that's petty, you can say he didn't deserve that, but you know what, the kid was being a freakazoid. And to prove we did actually report him and that we did actually encounter this and this isn't made up, here's a picture of his profile. See how it says reputation needs work? That's because of the amount of blocks and reports he got at the same time. Now I personally think we did the right thing. You got some wannabe axe murderer hypocrite running around, he needs to get reported sometimes. It's just weird, and you'll find a lot of these people on the internet thinking they're so bad and stuff, and they're just kind of annoying, you know? So when this whole thing was over, he got back on the mic and he was just like chuckling, you know? His mic was really bad, so it was kind of faint, but you could hear him, and then he said, "Now you know just how far I will go to mess with you guys." And he said it like he thought we actually believed him. Like, we actually believed him. Like, in some alternate dimension, we believed him. I cannot exaggerate this enough. I know I've said it 3 times, but he thought we actually believed him. So this was just annoying, and once he did that, I just left him alone for the rest of the night. I invited him back to the party, the next day to kind of just find out what was going on in his head. Instead, he wanted to say that we were female dogs. We were what Dad calls Mom when they're arguing over whose turn it is to microwave dinner. You get the idea. You know, he was saying some not nice things, and it just kind of was weird. So this kid has the audacity to say that we were the B words when he spent a good hour telling us about how he was going to come out of the wall and axe murder our moms. Like we did something wrong to him. It was so hypocritical and just so weird, and I'm done. At this point I was done. So I said, "Alright, I'm unfriending you," and then he decides to go and say, "Alright, it was a nice time role-playing, brother." Now I don't know what that means. I guess maybe he was saying, like it was fun role-playing and playing around before this ordeal, or maybe he was actually role-playing, which was kind of screwed up and a really stupid idea for a roleplay. And the way he justified all of this was he said my friend had sent him a message saying that I had called him something the day before, which I never did, and my friend told him that he didn't send him a message. He told me that I didn't send him a message, and considering my friend wasn't going to axe murder me, I'm inclined to believe him more. So, the moral of the story is, like and subscribe or else the Zodiac Killer is gonna come out of your wall and axe murder your mom. Later.